Digitize and monetize with iEnt Live, the only platform that provides complete digital support for entertainers, promoters, businesses, and entrepreneurs. Leverage our one-stop digital ecosystem that will allow you to promote your music, sell albums, and host paid events, host webinars and sell courses, promote your concerts, sell tickets and live stream events, and market your business or project to generate new customer leads, traffic, and more. This is all supported by our homegrown AI-driven digital marketing infrastructure that has successfully served hundreds of clients around the world. To learn more, send us a message or call 765-4641.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to Bloodline podcast on iEnt Live. My guest this evening is popular composer, performer, Chris Garcia. Hi, Chris. Welcome.
Nice to be here with you, Blood.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Good as always.
Well, my first question had to do with your origin. Where you born? Tell me a little bit about your family life.
Well, born in St. John Village, St. Augustine, just beneath the monastery, Mount St. Benedict. The Garcia family from up down the Santa Tree, St. John Road, St. Augustine. But right now, I presently live in Tunapuna. We moved in, I think, 77 from the family house to another house here in St. Vincent Street in Tunapuna. So I currently reside in Tunapuna. I have three brothers, three sisters and one brother on the biological side because I was adopted from baby. And a lot of people don't know that.
Good.
So on my adopted side, I'm on my adopted side. I have one brother and one sister. And on my mother's side, my birth mother, three sisters and one brother. And she in fact, she died just in December gone there. So, you know. My real mother died.
Accept my sympathy.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Tell me a bit about your schooling and your hobbies. When you were a little boy, the kind of hobbies you like.
Well, I did go to briefly at St. John's Mount St. Benedict RC school, but I left there just briefly. I stayed there, and then I went. They took me to St. Xavier's private school in St. Joseph. That's behind the convent in St. Joseph. And then I went to Curep Junior Sec and then St. Augustine Senior Comprehensive. I was extremely asthmatic. I'm telling you things that I don't think the media, because as you know, I've been so many times in media. Bombarded by media, not only in Trinidad, but the Caribbean and other countries and stuff. For like 2-3 years straight. It was ridiculous, you know. Well, during that chutney bacchanal time. But I'm letting you know a lot of things. You're a brother. I was always asthmatic. I was born with asthma. And I had it very, very severe. It was very, very severe. However, to make a long story short, later on when I started, I don't know, I just gravitated towards singing from the age of, from ever hearing the Jackson 5 as they were called then, and other bards like Luther Vandross and a lot of the big stars back then from Motown. And I followed a lot of their work because I always believe in professionalism. I always believed in that. But you never get truly the opportunity, as it were, in Trinidad to reach that pinnacle, that point, that supreme Motown, epic, universal. I'm talking about different organizations, recording studios, at that international level. So it was always to a particular point here, Carnival, and that's it. However, I always persisted in getting to that point of trying to attain supremacy in my work. So in other words, there's a saying I have, I create, especially in my latter part, my two pieces of work, the last two with Hear Their Prayers and the Lord's Prayer, which will be release YouTube on it shortly. Because the weather now is not allowing me to do the video I'd like to do. So we're looking for weather report to show me 2 days of pure sunshine, and I'll get that done. So for those of you who saw Hear Their Prayers, which was attributed to the frontline workers, especially frontline workers, it's on YouTube. It's called Hear Their Prayers. I encourage you to look at it and share it with people who are in the front line. It will show they will feel appreciated, I think, for the work I've done on that.
Yeah.
So being asthmatic, when I was I think 8 or 9, the doctor said, I can't remember his name, that was a long time ago. He said, this child is not going to survive.
Wow.
This child only has about 2 weeks to live or something. That's me.
Wow.
However, my adopted mother, she is also deceased, and she passed in 2003. And she nursed me to a point that I am here today because of that.
Wow.
And words like I don't think the dictionary, or even as far as Oxford University or those parallel to that, have found words to describe being thankful, thankfulness. I don't think any word I could muster up to say thank you for saving my life.
So tell me something. When you go to write your life story, your book, when you write the book?
Oh, I've been asked that many times, actually. Because a lot of people find my life so interesting.
Yes, I find you have me totally intrigued right now. And there's so much more to go in the interview.
Yes, there's so much. But I know back then, the media always pounced on just what I look like on the video.
Yeah.
And the body and the looks and the long hair, and they pounce on that. They pounce on it like they drain the cup, as it were. So, I mean, all media bodies, which was ridiculous, crazy.
Yeah.
So, but now is a different time.
Yeah.
And as you know, my it's somebody passing with a van again with some noise. So I hope that the viewers just listen to me and forget the whatever they're talking about. But it will pass shortly.
Yes. I should have blocked off the street. That's what I should have done.
Well, it's only so much power I have. not more than that.
Yeah.
But
you spoke about Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, and Motown, right? Were there any local influences, mentors in music that you looked up to that you'd like at that time?
At that time, I had listened, I think, the Hit Parade or the radio station. That was 610 and right, and the 2 stations on AM band.
Yeah.
And I always used to listen to Casey Kasem because somehow I gravitated towards that kind of music. Calypso and soca was never part of my DNA, as it were. I'm being frank. However, I heard a song from Sparrow, Only a Fool.
Right.
And then I looked into him. He is my favorite Calypsonian. And there was an album that he did with the Christmas songs.
Right.
Some San Fernando to Maracas Bay for sure. It was a beautiful, and I said, this gentleman is fantastic. He's hitting the notes correctly, and the chord structure and the music accompaniment is fantastic. I really, really love that, and that led me to a lot to know about him and all kind of thing, and his Gina and Dinah, Rose, and all these different things.
Yeah.
So a very versatile gentleman, and we know each other. We embrace each other when we see each other.
Yeah.
And there was a word he always called me. When he looked at me, he say, warrior. But I don't know why. But just that's his pet word for me, I suppose.
Yeah.
But as I'm there, let me just wish him all the best and best of health and all that.
Yeah.
So go ahead, ask the questions.
Right. he is developing something there.
No,
Okay.
I was saying
Mm-hmm.
what I was saying is that while I was there, let me bless him and stuff, and wish him all the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then to make a long story short about the asthmatic part is that I after coming out of that hellish period, which was my adopted mother brought me out from. And like I say, the word thanks is just not enough. But a lot of people who know me quite well know if I think of her, I start to cry. Tears will run out of my eye because when I speak, I put my verbs, nouns, and adjectives in place. It must be because I must convey my thoughts, how it should to CNN, BBC, which I was interviewed, and there were no subtitles in English while I'm speaking English. I abhor that. I think that's heights of mediocrity on my part if that I were to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So I want no subtitles in English while I'm speaking English. I want to convey with my verbs, nouns, and adjectives in place. So, well, I forgot the point I was making because something very, very important there. But anyway, go ahead, come back to me.
Okay. Tell me something. What are your views on things like religion and spirituality and things?
Well, I believe, my firm belief is that we were all born with, we all came here with opposites, with positive, negative, right, wrong, because of the conscious mind. We all have that. We all have that built into us naturally. And I firmly believe that there must be something out there that I gravitate towards when I am singing like the Lord's Prayer or something holy, because the word holy came from, it's there for a reason. The word right, the word honest, the word good is there for a reason. Just as the word bad, dishonest, hatred is there for a reason. People naturally, I believe, gravitate towards what is good. However, being blindsided in front of you, you have all these negative things throughout the world that sort of, because you can see it with your eyes. In the Bible it says, if you blessed are those who do not see yet believe. And I firmly believe in that.
Yeah.
I firmly believe in that. I do not wish to see to believe, because part of my seeing is my feeling of that spirituality. And that was ever so. Now, I don't think any other artist in the Caribbean, I don't know any other from Trinidad who reached the heights I've gotten to. I line with Hollywood. I line with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Young and Restless People. We sat, drank. I did everything. Stretch limousine, mobbings around the world. There's no words to describe what I was like. But to be at that level and just hold on to sanity is virtually impossible. Something had to be grounded in me. There must have been some belief for me to hold on to always come back home, to have a conversation of something like the question you asked, do I believe it? I believe in God. I believe there is something. I want to believe. I can't believe that, at this point in time when your knee hurts, it wasn't like that. Things start to happen to you. And then what? And I win the lotto. If I win $10 million or half millions of dollars, and then what? What else? There must be something greater than that.
I understand that a little birdie told me that in your ancestry you have some Carib in you.
Yes.
So, tell me something.
Sure.
What do you think could be done or should be done for more empowerment to the first peoples? The first people here, they were here before the African and the Indian and the Chinese and everybody else. So, we all know the history, etc., etc., etc. They were depleted. And but they're still here, you all are still here. What do you think could be done to empower the first peoples more?
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
I was invited, I think was Anthony Sabga, I can't remember who it was, who invited me to as a guest in the Carib house, I think it is in Arima.
Yeah.
In Arima.
Mm.
And while I was there, the function was about one of the Apaches, I think it's Apache or Comanche or the Sioux Nation, the chief came to Trinidad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the chief, what we saw that day, and I remember Anthony Sab, one of the Sab was sitting together, and we looked at each other in awe, in shock, because of one particular thing. And this, I think, will answer your question. When the chief of the Caribs in Trinidad met the chief
from the
Sioux Nation, the North American, when they met and they embraced each other, they cried like babies. First time meeting. And it was just, I don't know what it was. It had to been, there were so many things within that hug and those falling of tears. Must have been a lot of, there was so many things. Where have we gone? Are we still here? Do they respect us? Do they know us? Do they want to know us? Will they continue to take our lives away? Would they continue to take our livelihoods away? Would they take our religion, our beliefs away?
Yeah.
Are we here or are we hugging like virtually, or are we really hugging each other?
Yeah.
So many things ran through my head that day when I saw that.
That had to be a moving moment, man.
Moving, Kenna, that's still moving. Because every time I think about it, it's flying.
Yeah, yeah.
What an authentic, honest, and beautiful moment that was. I will never forget it as long as I live.
Okay. Okay, so you are world travel. You have performed all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
What's your favorite place to perform?
That's a very, very hard question because you knew me at that time as well. And as I land, it's just to change clothes and get a new next country. And from that country to next country and that country. And it goes, sometimes I would wake up and just call the front desk. And I say, excuse me, what country is this? You hear a voice saying, you're in Canada, sir. Thank you. I just wanted to know. Because you lose sight. You really honestly lose sight. So I never had the opportunity to go touring. Not when I say touring, visiting, sightseeing like everybody else. I was just living on a plane.
Yeah.
You know? So I can't say.
What was the most memorable stage experience?
Most memorable? I mean, performing and making people happy is the objective.
Yeah.
However, what I didn't like, the mobbings was crazy. All the security I had, and it just still got through. And I have marks on I have lost hair. People pull hair. I know people have my hair in the house in frame, and what kind of craziness? You know, I have all these things. And I remember once I was on a plane going to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And this is just one of the most memorable times I'll never forget. And I was in first class, and I told the flight attendant, I said, listen, I'm going to sleep. So I was leaving Florida or New York. It was New York. And heading straight to LA. And while I was in first class in 33,000 feet in the air, however, I just put my rag with something I always do. Well, especially on American, not American, back then was BB, Cal. I would put a rag over my face, and the flight attendants would know Chris Garcia is sleeping. Don't wake him, leave him. That was a constant thing. When I went boarded at American Airlines, and I told them, please, you know, don't bother me until I land. And while in the air, this blonde white lady was shaking me. And she said, excuse me. She woke me up, and I looked at her and said, yes, ma'am. And she said, are you Chris Garcia? I said, yes, I am. And she said, oh my God. And she went frantic, like nuts. She went nuts. And she hugging and kissing, and that's okay. The flight attendant came across and said, excuse me, everything is all right? I said, yes, everything is all right. And she's looking at the flight attendant. Do you know this is Chris Garcia? This is soca world. I mean, this is white people, a plane with white people on it.
Yeah.
And then she said, could you sign this? And I said, sure. She said, you're my second sex symbol in the world. I will die for, whatever she said. And I went through lots of these, many, but this is one in particular because of one thing. And she took out a paper. She said, listen, I was in Manhattan and I went to a restaurant. And funny enough, the first person is two people I love. She loves two people in the world. That person and me. Because she loves the videos, and especially me and he as an actor. Yeah. And she said, could you sign the same paper that he signed on? So I'm seeing a B, and she said, I'm looking at it, I can't make it out. Love, I think her name was Helen. Love you, Helen, or whatever. So Chris Garcia loves you, Helen. I put that. And I said, out of curiosity, I said, but who's the first person? And she said, listen, while I was in Manhattan in that restaurant, I saw bodyguards coming in to make sure everything was all right. And then he came in. And I begged for an autograph, and I hugged him. I could just say, I hugged you and kissed you. I said, you nearly kill him then. Then she said, I said, who is it? And she said, this is Brad Pitt.
Okay.
So she has Brad Pitt. She's kissing the paper.
Yeah.
I have Brad Pitt and Chris Garcia. So when you reach that kind of level, you know you really reach somewhere like not norm. It's not norm. So that's one of my most memorable times. Other times when police had to shoot to ward off, he shoot bullets. Pull the trigger and think to ward off people. And it crazy times, crazy.
Well, that is the upside of it. What I actually know, what was your most embarrassing stage moment?
Embarrassing stage moment?
Yeah.
I try to be a perfectionist on stage, when I'm doing what I have to do, or getting my words right. It has to be, I think the most embarrassing was probably forgetting a line or something in a song, but I can't recall. But it has to be because obviously I'm a human being. So I'm sure I've done that before. But what I know, why I know I've done it before, because I'm a master at covering it.
Yeah.
I've studied that, and I've learned that from other stars as well. So, I've spoken to other people as well. I've worked alongside two Billy Ocean producer, Mariah Carey producer, Sting, Boy George producer. So I learned a level of not mediocrity. Not mediocrity. So when you learn from these people, and you look and you learn and you listen, you enhance your senses and your ability, and your gift or your art form just elevates, which is what you want,
Yeah, well, Chris, we have reached the point of this interview that I call blood pressure. It's a trivia section. I ask you a couple of questions, not many, a couple of questions, and you have to choose one of the choices I give you, okay?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, sweetbread or pone?
Pone.
Doubles or polori?
Doubles.
Pilau or okra rice?
Pilau.
Beach or river?
Beach.
City or country life?
Country life.
Cricket or football?
It has to be one?
Yeah.
Football.
Parang soca or chutney soca?
Parang soca.
Parang soca. Tobago or Trinidad?
Oh gosh. That's one country you can't do. That's a strange question because both has its attributes.
Very good.
But All right, Trinidad.
Okay. Reggae or Afrobeat?
Reggae.
Reggae. Well, you see, you didn't do badly. You've flown, got through that with flying colors, Chris. You
Yeah.
know. But talk about flying colors. I'm telling you that you viewers out there, Vax and Win is the newest NLCB promotion. To participate, you must be 18 years and over, be in possession of a valid Trinidad and Tobago vaccination card, and have received one dose of a WHO approved COVID 19 vaccine during the promotion period, August 18 to September 14, 2021. 100 weekly winners will receive $5,000 each, and the grand prize is $50,000. Play safe. The NLCB cares about your health and safety. And talk about health and safety. Stay hydrated with Caribbean spring water. Natural alkaline spring water from the northern range of Trinidad. Chris,
Yeah, man.
yes. So you get through the trivia thing, and your blood pressure is good. Talk about blood pressure. Let me tell you something. Every time I hear it, my blood pressure still go up. Chutney bacchanal. Tell me something about chutney bacchanal. How that song come about? You know, chutney bacchanal.
Well, I remember, Ryan is now deceased, Ryan Romani. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rest of soul. Rest in peace, my brother. Um, how it came about, how I remember is that because a lot of people tell me, you used to sing that by me. You used to say, but there's so many. And as time goes on, you forget.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember I was singing on this street, on Sylvester Street. There was a bar down the road, and they asked me to sing, if I could come and sing with the guitar. I said, no problem. And this was in 95, I think, 90, no, it was, somewhere around there. I can't remember. Because Chutney Bacchanal was 1996.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before that was 1995, which I was with Song Revolution.
Right.
And the year before that, it was a transgression. Remember the Carib Strong ad?
Yeah.
Right, I was the Carib Strong character.
Yeah.
The Hunga Mu, right. So it's from 94, 95, and then 96.
Yeah.
And I left Song Rev and I just shot to the stars with that Chutney Bacchanal. And while I was in that bar, Ryan came and his wife and stuff, and he said, some people are saying, sing a chutney song. So I have no idea because I grew up on Motown. So I don't know this thing at all.
Yeah.
So I say, but listen to this and see if you like this. And I remember singing it, Chade, Chade, with the guitar and stuff. And then they say, and this are a dance, I go crazy. With that bad, like that, fit again. The whole night I'm singing this thing. I said, well, what stupid is this, boy? So then I remember I went to Engine Room in those days. The circuit was with the guitar and voice.
Yeah.
And in Engine Room in St. James.
Mm-hmm.
And Pelham Goddard was passing. And he came upstairs because he's from St. James as well.
Yeah.
And he came upstairs and I said, Pelham, listen to this. And when he listened to the Chutney Bacchanal with the guitar and voice, he said, you know that song? You see that song? That song big, that big.
Yeah.
I said, that big, but I stupidness. I don't. Yeah, but anyway, Chade Burka, that's rubbish, that's gibberish. That don't mean nothing. That's stupidness. But it's telling you, it means absolutely nothing. But to many people around the world, it means a lot. I remember when in '96 I was leaving, they sent a plane for me to go to Barbados, and there was a function in Queen's Hall, an award giving ceremony, and I had to go on first because there was a plane waiting for me to fly to Barbados that night to perform. And I remember A&R Robinson and Pandey were there, and the next front page was Buzz doing A&R Robinson dancing the Chutney Bacchanal. I don't know if I made them to get up, well, stand up and dance or something. Because when you're on stage, you have a particular power. You can say things and anybody follows what your instructions.
Yeah.
So Anyway, when I did that on the street here in the bar, the Ryan said, we can do something like that. I said, sure, what? He said, I said, yes. And we went in the studio because he had a studio called World Beat.
Yeah.
And that has long gone now. But it created history in the sense that chutney bacchanal. And we did it, trial error. There was a bar called Tony's Tavern. And we would go there, listen to on that system on St. John's Road there.
Yeah.
And we listen, come back, listen, play. And we would be very, very scrupulous with the work, with the material.
Yeah.
Until we said, okay, that's it. We did the video and released it. The song was released first and then the video.
Mm-hmm.
And the package just blew everything to smithereens.
Right.
So that's how it came about.
So,
but that question is, people keep asking that, what it means. Nothing. It's stupid.
So let's take down the tempo now. So you go from chutney bacchanal, up tempo kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To just maybe.
Oh.
Yes. Just maybe.
You remember earlier when I said we're all born with something in us.
Mm-hmm.
There's a linkage to the Supreme Being.
Mm-hmm.
I never lost sight of that.
Mm-hmm.
All the glamour and all the money and all the gold and that. And it just never meant, it couldn't substitute, it couldn't replace that lineage from the Supreme Father to me. It just couldn't.
Yeah.
So when you see things like what happened to Brother George Floyd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said one thing I believe, and this is where I'm coming to your question. He said one thing, that if he had not said that, it would have been just another black man being shot by a cop. Mm-hmm. And it would have made some noise, hullabaloo, and pass on. But crying out for mama, that international word that we all call where we came from, that word, that is what pierced every color in the world who marched. Because I said, it was not that after he was murdered, and I said this on various platforms, interviewed around the world, just like this, different platforms, he was murdered. Even before the verdict came out, I said it, he was murdered. And that mama is what made the whole world march. You had Africa, Russians, Chinese, Japanese, Asia. The world marched because of that murder, because of that word mama. But that day, it was not a color that marched, That day when the world marched, that is when humanity marched. Humanity marched. And those who marched that day, regardless of color, that was just a touch of the lineage with the Father and your sanity, your truthfulness, Your
being.
So, yes, indeed.
So, but I think that just maybe is a fantastic piece of work,
Thank you, brother.
A piece of work. You write all your songs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Because I would tell viewers now they should really go. Just maybe it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, yes.
Yeah. Viewers, go to Just Maybe by Chris Garcia and listen to the lyrics. Okay? And talk about lyrics. Maybe some of the strongest lyrics in the history of mankind. You touch on that as well. More recently, the Lord's Prayer.
Yes. Yes. But at least that song was written by Jesus. The lyrics was written by Christ, not me. Right? So let's get that clear.
Yeah, but
so I will not go for copyright for that. I will not dare.
But your treatment of the Lord's Prayer is also something to be seen and listened to.
Yes, it's not on YouTube yet because of the bad weather we're having. Because there are some shots. If you notice, Hear Their Prayers, that song I did for the if you looked at did you see the video? The video I did for them?
Yeah.
Right. The video for the Hear Their Prayers, the frontline workers,
Yeah.
it's extremely touching and it made people cry. Looking at it and listening to the song, it made people cry. People call me and cry and I can't understand what is in it crying. It's the same thing with the Lord's Prayer. The song, the video, and the song, just as much as the song will touch you, the video must do just as much.
Yes.
So that when you look at it, what I tried to get was the meditative part of it.
Yeah.
Because I listened to Pavarotti, I listened to Andrea Bocelli, and all the other people, the different our Lord's Prayer that was put out there for the masses. But what I didn't get from it, and I respect them all, I learned from these people. What I didn't get was the meditative part of it. So I recreated the Lord's Prayer musically and the melodic structure for meditation, so that you can listen to it as a prayer and meditate on it.
You know what I'm recognizing while we're talking here? It seems as though you are on a path, on a journey. You know, I've known you a lot of years now.
Yeah.
And it seems that you have matured along a certain path, right? And before you respond to that, you know, you're talking about the meditative part and this kind of thing. I was looking at a video the other day with this song that was written by a slave plantation owner, a guy who used to deal with the slave trade. I think his name was John Newton. Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace.
You know, I would really like to, I really would suggest that you know, maybe try a thing with Amazing Grace as well.
Yeah.
You know, because Amazing Grace is, you know, really
amazing.
It's amazing.
That particular song, Amazing Grace, I understand it's it was written by him, Mr. Newton.
Yeah.
And he was a captain of a ship.
Yeah.
And he would captain one of the ships that would bring slaves from.
Right.
And I heard a very interesting statement made by a gentleman who, there was a TV show, The Hawk, a Negro guy, bald guy. I can't remember his name, but he sings as well.
Yeah.
And he mentioned something I did not know.
What's that?
And that all the black keys on the piano.
Oh, yes, I heard about that. Yeah.
Right, all the black keys are the slave. When they sing, that is it. They sing in the black keys.
Yes.
Even Amazing Grace is in the black keys.
Yes.
And Mr. Newton, who's a white man, he sang Amazing Grace. So he made a very interesting point. He said that while those people were down there at the base of the ship, tied and strapped or whatever they were, chained, their cries, because he wrote the song based on, he said he must have written that song based on their cries. Yeah. So you see spirituality at work again, because Amazing Grace is just amazing.
Yes.
Can't get away from that.
Yeah. You mentioned Botticelli and Pavarotti and stuff like that. Who's some of your favorite artists? No. Because music, to me, music is not what it used to be 30, 40 years ago.
True.
Compositions, you know, the lyrics are meaningless. The music, you know, very
it changes.
Music, you know. Who are some of your favorite artists?
My favorite group of all time was Earth, Wind and Fire. That I can't get away from. Their music. Barry.
Amazing.
White. Not by. Is it Barry White? Not by. Not Barry White. The leader. Maurice White. Yes. Yeah. His creation of Earth, Wind and Fire and the music is, oh my God, it's a fun. Just and their attire and everything. I gravitated towards that.
Sorry? They were before their time. They you know, Well,
They
we
were
had,
futuristic. They were
yeah,
futuristic in their work, very futuristic.
yeah,
And so they had mammoth crowd, and they had gold, platinum albums and all that. And their songs would stand the test of time, always, I believe.
mm-hmm.
Another person I like
Mm-hmm.
is Michael Jackson, but
Mm-hmm.
they're all now deceased.
Yeah,
I also like Pavarotti,
yeah,
because what I learned from these people, I learned from them.
mm-hmm.
When you listen to them, they didn't just come out and do that.
Mm-hmm.
It takes years of drilling and practicing. So whoever I'm associated with or whoever works for me in a studio, you follow my lead. And then when we finish like the Lord's Prayer or hear their prayers, something like that, they say, I can't believe how we do this, because we applied no mediocrity and perfection.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I've learned from some of the greats I've worked with. And that is what I'll always continue to implement. And
Yeah.
hopefully who works around me would learn that. Because in Trinidad, we have this thing about, look, I like to put, like I say, I compose and write for 7 billion people,
Yeah.
not 1.3 who think they're 7 billion.
Yeah.
That is just stupid.
Yeah.
So I don't think like that.
Yeah.
I'm going after 7 billion people. So whenever I write like the Lord's, we can't do the video yet because of the weather not
Yeah.
in my favor. It's not in my favor. So I'm
I
waiting
think-
till the Met Office say
The weather will clear up. Don't worry. The
it
weather.
will. It will. We'll have 2 days, and when that video comes out, Blood, I guarantee it will be beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
Tell me something. What advice would you have for a 16-year-old Chris Garcia?
There's no advice. Because there cannot be, when you say a 16-year-old years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah.
all right. Let me answer it. I have a
Yes,
perfect answer for that.
Right.
If you could look, Peter Ray Blood, if you could look at a green mango and say,
Right.
right, and it's right, I'll worship you. But if everything has its time and season,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am ripening now. That's why we can talk the way, and that's why you can say the things you say about my delivery
Yeah.
in the manner in which you did. You've
Yeah.
matured because I'm ripening.
Yeah.
Because forced ripening don't taste good. So if I try to be how I am now when I was 16, 17,
Yeah.
whatever age before,
Yeah.
it would show terribly. And this interview would be terrible.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Tell me something. What has COVID-19 taught you about Chris Garcia?
Endurance and
Yeah.
patience. I have a lot of patience and I have a lot of endurance. I can, whatever human beings were built, we survive. We built to survive. We've survived so many things for how many millions of years and to know. Depending on which scientists or which religious person you speak to, whatever it was before, it is what it is now. But we know for a fact there were meteorites, there were viruses and diseases and stuff that passed through, and they were not advanced as we are today. And the Spanish flu in 1919 or 1918,
18.
right? Which accounted for millions and millions of deaths,
Yeah.
is not the same as today.
Yeah.
And we are in a better frame of mind and a better way now to deal with these things. And as time progresses, even though we get more dotish sometimes, there is a balance somewhere of scientists and people trying to balance the whole sphere, the whole world, and it's people, the way of thinking.
Yeah.
So I get through it day by day. A lot of people try to jump past the second step to go to the third.
Yeah.
That is rushing your life.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Your time.
Take your time.
I try not all the time. Take your time.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Nothing going. One thing we guarantee to go. We're not guaranteed to stay here. We're only passing through. You see, this sounds like a cliche,
Yeah.
but maybe this time when I say it, somebody who listens to Chris Garcia via your show
Yeah.
will understand,
Yeah.
it's true. We just come to go.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah. Just one more question.
Sure.
What's the future for Chris Garcia? What do you like to achieve?
What I would like to, I have about 5 more songs to do with videos. So that and those songs, they keep coming. Now, the pandemic has also done that. It kept me down to do what I'm doing. It might sound funny. If it weren't for the COVID, I might have produced the Lord's Prayer or Hear Their Prayers. So it good in some ways, it bad in some ways. It's just like the internet. It good in some ways, it bad in some ways.
Great.
You can catch my drift? Same way, same thing. Look, we're doing something good here. Go to our next platform, you hear nonsense or garbage.
Yes, sure.
Same little square thing, doing the same thing.
Chris,
So my future is whatever God plans. My plan is not his. Blessings, my brother. God bless you and yours.
Yes, I must thank you very much for being our guest this evening. Viewers, you have been looking at Bloodline podcast on iEnt Live, sponsored by NLCB. Have a pleasant evening. Ciao.
Digitize and monetize with iEnt Live, the only platform that provides complete digital support for entertainers, promoters, businesses, and entrepreneurs. Leverage our one-stop digital ecosystem that will allow you to promote your music, sell albums, and host paid events, host webinars and sell courses, promote your concerts, sell tickets and live stream events, and market your business or project to generate new customer leads, traffic, and more. This is all supported by our homegrown AI-driven digital marketing infrastructure that has successfully served hundreds of clients around the world. To learn more, send us a message or call 765-4641.